the area had this kind of musicality or kind of performance thing.
Forest Gate was known for music. You got a place like the Uppercut, which would play all like reggae sound system stuff and bits and pieces like that. And you had the Lotus Club, who play all pop music.
You had like King Original sound, Rebel sound, Chappie sound, Sledgehammer sound, Warrior sound. We had a lot of sounds coming out of Forest Gate.
I think all the Caribbean families always had music because I think they used to house a lot of their own parties in their own houses, because obviously trying to go out to clubs and stuff like that was a bit more of a precarious situation because of just that era.
A lot of shebeens. Someone's got a spare house or a house and there'd be a full sound system rigged up. The outside windows would be vibrating. The kitchen would be the bar in the food area.
You got Funkadelic, you got Touch of Class, you got all these other sound systems that have been played. These sound systems were going into houses, they're rigging up their sets and playing music. We grew up in there, the whole 80s that was happening, toasting, DJ scratching, mixing from hip hop to R&B. So when you're exposed to that, that's where we come from. So that was evidently going to come out in the music if we started to produce it.
It was a prime example of what an underground record shop, an underground record label should be. John, Mikey and Peter. So Mikey is the underground, John had Reel to Reel, and Peter is Cool Hand Flex, who was an artist for both of those labels.
He was making tunes as well as Uncle 22, and both of them would work in the shop. Randall was probably the main person working behind the counter most. Wacko, Marlon, who used to release stuff as Marley Marl, that was his DJ name as well. He was another part of the crew.
Before we knew it, we just had a unit. We was all into the same thing. Between me, Michael and the others, we was making sure the production got to a state where it got to the vinyl. I did the distribution, it sold. It was just a full circle, complete.
I think the main thing was just to get music out. We can sell music, what we wanted to buy, and make music we wanted to sell as well.
It was really nice to be in a record shop like that, which basically sold music from its own community.
The Underground was the main sort of umbrella name, but underneath that there was a whole load of sub-labels. There was In Touch, Audible, Pure Energy, Rough Groove, You Know That, IE Record.
Going down there, thinking that it would be like Music Power in Ilford, where it would have rows and rows of records that you could flick through and look at the artwork. It wasn't that. It was just this geezer mixing, and it's these people just putting up their hand, just a record landing in front of them.
That'd be an auction house, I suppose, isn't it? What am I trying to say? It was very unorthodox, but it worked.
It was a big thing. It was a Saturday record day, and we'd all had our tapes, like, you know, tunes that we wanted.
You know what? A lot of people used to come in and sing.
What's that tune go? Yeah, that one.
The shop, it ended up being like a beacon for drawing artists to it. So we ended up meeting artists as well as selling music to people.
All of the superstars of that early jungle era would be walking in throughout the day.
DJ Hype used to pass through quite a lot. Guys like Kenny Ken passed through. DJ Zinc used to come in the shop now and again as well.
And then Goldie coming there with his Sierra, black bumper on, dragging down the road.
So you'd see DJ Rap, you'd see all these people that were either brand new to the scene but were just making their name. So you knew of them because they were on Cool FM, they were on Pulse.
All the big flashy BMWs, drop tops would pull up. On a good day, there's 10, 15 of the biggest UK DJs, producers holding court outside.
Anyone that lived in that area, when you walk past that part of Wood Grange Road and you can hear the booming noise, you're kind of like, what's going on over there? It's not the kind of sounds that would come out of Woolworths on a Saturday afternoon, if you know what I mean.
I always remember we put a tannoy outside the shop because we thought, you know what, if the door's shut, some people might want to hear some music. Little did we know that this thing was travelling. So people used to say they used to come out of the train station and they could hear music. And they were gravitated to it.
It was like a party. Literally, it was like it was a buzz. The music was playing, people chatting and laughing and cracking jokes, and you know, when people buy music. It's like being a cross between a party and a community centre.
The music and the vibe was great.
Walking into the shop, there was some amazing artwork on the walls, painted by a graffiti artist.
When I first went in there, Randall was selling records in there. They used to play the music and that, you know, white label 12-inch. It's a lot I used to play. It's a seamless mixing and everything. It was like the early development of coming into jungle and watching all these guys come into their own.
It was different to any other record shop. You had the studio right there inside the record shop.
The studio times had a lot of good days, you know. We used to hang out at the back of Hype, Andy C, Navigator, loads of us just doing our musical thing. Flex and Uncle, to me, they were like scientists. They have so much fresh ideas. It's like, I'd hear this stuff being made. It's like a privilege, really, you know what I mean? It would be very inspiring to hear it.
People used to come from miles around just to see what we was doing. We came across the foundation of drum and bass. At some point, we came across them.
Then I started getting sometimes, just bring your sampler down in it and plug it in, we can just jam. So I might be at home working on a track. I might be a bit bored or stuck, so I'd unplug my big sampler, drive down there, put my sampler in, plug into theirs, and maybe spend a couple of hours jamming in there.
They were making potentially what could be the next 12 that's going to come out or be on dub plate that's happening, or when the door swung open and you got a cheeky little bar of like, dun, 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 dun. You're like, ugh.
Then they just had their own unique sound and a lot of good music. It was urban, it was cutting edge and current.
Around us, you had Lennie De Ice that had done WIE. So where that really came from our corner, we was then recognised to be affiliated with that. But that WIE style was where we all came from, because it shows all the influences of all of our music, which was reggae sound system into what modern electronic music is, into where this hardcore jungle music's coming from now.
That particular EP was me, Uncle 22, Lennie De Ice and A-Sides.
You could definitely feel that it was special and that I was involved in something that was going to be important in terms of UK dance music culture and UK identity.
We was guys that had nothing. All we had was our music and this scene that was starting to evolve, and we were just passionate about that. We didn't know I'd be still here at this age, still out there playing music to the masses. It's kind of nice to know that we had built something that we didn't know would be so like monumental to certain people.
I guess it felt like our music because it was from our neck of the woods.
We made music that we liked. Impact-wise, people still talk about us. So yeah, we did make an impact. I won't say it was us that changed the face of music, but we did do something quite original. And now people don't even class it as American music. It's our music. So yeah, in that regard, yeah, we did that.